Fremantle at in your mind after a grand final appearance last year? How do you think they're travelling?
Yeah, we were clearly disappointed with the result on the weekend. We felt that we weren't, playing our brand of football, which has held us in good stead for a long time. And they came to play, and full credit to Sydney. They're a team. They had their backs against the wall, and they just wanted it more than us. And ultimately, yeah, that was disappointing for us. So yeah, we'll lick our wounds, and we've got a pretty short turnaround. So the focus moves pretty quickly to Friday night.
How does the senior group look at that? There's a couple of discipline issues as well. Colin Sylvia, Hayden's been suspended for a week as well. How does the senior group look at that?
Yeah, we've had a brief chat about that this morning, and we lose players to injury. That's part of the game, but to lose players for disciplinary reasons is really disappointing. And Hayden, I'm sure, is very disappointed, as we all are. But he'll cop his week, and hopefully we can all move on.
You've had a couple of issues now, as said, Sylvia, even Josh Simpson, and now Ballantyne. Is there a bit of a concern that things might not be going to plan right now?
Look, we believe our culture is very strong and has been for a number of years now. We've had a couple of incidents early in the season that we wish didn't happen, but this is part and parcel of trying to organise and manage 40 players with different lives and from different walks of life, I should say. So that's all part of it that we have to manage. But for the great majority of our playing group, it's a very strong brand and a strong culture, and unfortunately, some players fall by the wayside, but we deal with them internally.
Josh Simpson's not here. Have you spoken to him, or has anyone sort of spoken?
No. Yeah, look, we all heard about that when he didn't make the flight to Sydney. But outside of that, there's been no contact with him from the playing group or the leadership group. And given that we weren't in here yesterday, there hasn't been a chance for the collective to get together and discuss what happens with that. So that'll be a process that we go through the next day or two with the leadership group and of course the coaches.
Do you feel let down as one of the leaders that a guy hasn't fulfilled his commitments, I suppose?
Yeah, a lot of resources have been put into Josh over the journey, and I think it's been acknowledged by Ross and the media. It's enormously disappointing given how much has been given to him and how much he has been supported. So that is disappointing, absolutely, and we really wanted him to fulfil his enormous potential and play football for us, and he showed a little bit in the game last week, and we were certainly excited about what he could do and how he could contribute to this side. But we stand at this point, very disappointed with the outcome, and we'll have to make a decision moving forward.
Can you turn it around, Luke? Can Josh turn it around for them?
Look, I've always been pretty open-minded with these cases. We know that Michael Walters was certainly the one that stands out in everyone's mind, where no one really thought he would ever come back and play, but he certainly turned it around. But these are all things that we have to take into consideration. Obviously, every individual's different, and we put a lot of work into Michael Walters, and he absolutely turned it around completely. So I don't think you can ever write anyone off, certainly, but the incident on the weekend was pretty serious, and we'll have to look at it.
On the field, how much of a blow is that? I mean, Walters is already out with injury, and to also lose Ballantyne, Simpson and Sylvia, all goal-kicking options. How hard is that to overcome?
Yeah, like anything, it's these things happen in football clubs. Everyone has to deal with injury. That's the way it goes, or suspension, etc. So, that's why you have a list of 40 players that you can draw on, and again, we all train and prepare together, and we're certainly confident that whoever fills those roles can come in and do a job.
Luke, you've had a couple of short breaks, as you say. How's the body feeling? A couple of you older guys went to the track early today. All good?
Yeah, that's just a management situation. So yeah, if you're over 30, you get looked after a little bit more. But we're on the back of 2 short turnarounds and a long trip to Sydney. So we'll just manage some of the older players through this week, and we'll have probably a short, sharp session tomorrow morning, building towards Friday night.
What do you make of North this year? They've probably been a little bit up and down like Freo.
Yeah, they've been, they had a great performance against Sydney the week before, and we know at their best they're a very strong football side, and you can't take any game lightly, unfortunately. That's been proven in the first 5 rounds. So we'll throw everything we can at North at Friday night, and hopefully a quick return to the brand of football that we saw against Essendon and a couple of the games earlier this season.
Are these Len Hall games special for the players?
Yeah, they're always significant. Ultimately, we can't ever compare what we do to what the war veterans had to endure, but you know, we just attempt to honour them with great effort on the football field.
What are the keys against North Melbourne?
Yeah, well, at this point in time, we don't. I guess given that we've been a bit up and down early in the season, we're more about fixing us. So we're focusing very strongly on what we need to do to play good football, our brand of football, and we're hoping that will take care of itself. So at this point in time, we haven't looked at North Melbourne. We probably won't look at them until you know, tomorrow at some stage. But I think there's a fair bit to do with us and fixing us first.
What are some of the major things that you do want to address this week going into the game?
Yeah, we felt our pressure across the ground wasn't good enough on the weekend. You know, particularly I think it was identified by Ross, some of our forwards, and you know, a bit of the mid stuff. We couldn't defend at times. So there's a few issues that we need to look at, and you know, we need to address pretty quickly. But we know that at our best we can be, you know, a powerful football team on the field. So we need to come back and show that again.
Luke, how's the body? Last year leading the finals, they gave you a rest to make sure you, at this age of time in your career, do you reckon you've just about got it sussed?
Yeah, maybe I've got it right. I'm not sure. I've actually never played a full season before, so I'd like to think I could do that at the age of 32. But you know, I've managed to get through a full pre-season. I haven't missed a beat yet, so yeah, really comfortable with how the body's tracking, and just important to manage along with the other 30-plus-year-olds through the season.
We saw Sandy lock away his future next season early in the year. How about yourself? What's your kind of thinking in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, I was asked this question a few weeks ago, and I prefer to wait until the end of the season. You know, at this stage of my life, it's sort of 1 year at a time. So yeah, when it's at the light, in the light of day at the end of the season, when I can have a bit of time to think about it, and certainly, you know, form and fitness, etc., all play a part, and of course my wife and kids play a role. So those decisions get made at the end of the season for me.